Kwale County.
Still on that story, Azimio One Kenya coalition affiliate parties have indicated that they will begin recall proceedings against their members who have declined to toe the party lines and directives. Azimio targets those MPs who voted with the government side in favor of the finance bill. In the recent past, it has been difficult to remove rebel MPs or even discipline them. This could, however, change thanks to a recent court ruling. And as Ken Mijongu now reports, no single member of parliament in Kenya has been recalled since the provision was made.
Sergeant, can you have those members out of the chamber?
Removing or even disciplining a member of parliament has been a daunting task. Political parties sponsoring them to parliament have been unable to deal with their renegade members who, after securing their seats, crossed over or refrained from voting with them or even advancing their ideologies. For years, it has become one of the biggest headaches for political parties. Such rebels have been protected by the side that benefits from their activism. Azimio One Kenya coalition, which ordinarily would have been the majority side in parliament, lost a substantial number of their members to the ruling party, thus weakening it significantly, yet they could do very little about it.
Be deemed to have resigned from the party.
But how have such members gotten away with it for so long? And why is this very hard to implement? Members of parliament, in their wisdom, protected themselves from losing their seats by entrenching provisions in the Elections Act that complicate their removal or recall, but they can still leave office.
We are going to try that new provision of the law on recalling members of parliament who do not follow what the public is saying, the people who elected them are saying, and what their political parties are saying.
Article 1 of the Constitution gives all sovereign power to the people. The power can be exercised either directly or through the elected representatives. Invoking this article is a basis of recall. But recall is not done as easy as it is said. The right to recall is granted under Article 104 of the Constitution. To recall your member of parliament, you will invoke Section 45 of the Elections Act. First, at the end of their term, you can recall them by not re-electing them. Lawfully, you can also begin the process once a member of parliament is found to have 1. Violated Chapter 6 of the Constitution, mismanaged public resources, is convicted of an offense, but this can only happen after a finding by the High Court.
And it is now time.
But even after that finding, you will have to wait for at least 2 years before you can begin the process, and you cannot also begin recalling a member of parliament when they have 12 months to go to the end of their term. A candidate who ran and lost against the sitting member of parliament in question cannot also initiate recall, and recall can only be done once during the term. To begin the process, a petition to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission must be put in writing and signed. One must also be a voter in that specific constituency or county. He must or she must have been a registered voter and must accompany the petition with orders from the High Court. A petitioner must also specify grounds for recall. For a petition to succeed, it must be supported by 50% of the total votes cast during the recall election conducted by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The whole of the recall process could take between 1 year and 1.5 years due to the court process and the lengthy process and the timelines, leaving the petitioner with no room. This appears to have been a trap set by the members of parliament themselves when they enacted the recall classes to protect themselves. In a nutshell, recall is near impossible, but all is not lost.
These people, they have been thinking that they're very clever. Every time political parties like ODM institute legal proceedings or disciplinary proceedings, they run to court and obtain court orders. There are members of the National Assembly who are surviving here by virtue of court orders.
The Political Parties Act allows political parties to discipline their members. The Constitution prescribes the occasions when a member of parliament can lose their seat.
I'm really shocked that a communication is done on removal of my position, a position that was negotiated by my party.
In a joint constitutional petition 209 of 2016 filed by the Katiba Institute and Action Initiative, where the respondents were the Government of Kenya and the Attorney General, Justices Kanyi Kimondo, George Odunga and Chacha Mwita, found as unconstitutional sections of the Elections Act and the County Governments Act that made it difficult to recall lawmakers, thereby making it possible for voters to recall their elected representatives. And this is what the Azimio One Kenya coalition intends to use to begin recalling their members of parliament who have taken separate routes from the political party's position. Ken Mijungu, KTN.